Welcome to Google Sheet tutorial. I have created tons of templates on project management, productivity, personal finance and many more. Today, I'll teach you how I have created my net worth tracker. With the help of this net worth tracker, you will be able to track your wealth for the complete year. I'll teach you how you can create this net worth tracker from scratch. Here is how our net worth dashboard will look like. So here we have some of the key pointers, and then we have some graphs for total asset versus liabilities and the net worth graph. Then we have the liabilities distribution and asset distribution. So then here we have the total asset and liabilities for the complete year. Then we have the asset overview table. So we have different assets like cash and bank account, properties, investment and other assets. So similarly here we have a liabilities overview where we have a long-term debt, short-term debt and other liabilities. So I'll teach you how to create this net worth dashboard from scratch. Let's get started. I'll open a new Google spreadsheet and then name this as net worth tracker. First, let's go and have a title for the dashboard. So I'll try to combine these cells and then I'll say merge all. Here I'll say as net worth dashboard. So I'll increase the size of this. I'll make it bold and also I'll make it center align. Then I'll try to fill in the background color for this. Then let me give some space at the top and then we'll start with the asset table. So I'll go a little bit down. We'll start with the asset table over here. So I'll say asset overview. And let's also increase the width of the B column. So I'll say start over here and then let's say it for all the months. So it's going to be Jan to December. I'll use the flash fill option and then I'll try to fill it till December. And then at the end, I'll have the growth. So now let me select this completely till growth and I'll increase the size, make it bold, as well as I'll fill in this with the background color. Similarly, I'll come to asset overview. So here also for the complete row, I'll increase the size, make it bold and fill in with that theme color. So below the assets, we can have different category of assets, like we can have cash and bank accounts, properties, investment and other assets. So first we'll start with cash and bank account. So I'll say cash and bank account. Below the cash and bank accounts, we can have the bank accounts and cash what we have at hand. Let me consider I'm going to have 3 bank accounts. So I'll say bank account 1 and then let me say I have 3 bank accounts and I'll say what is going to be the cash at hand. And let's consider what I also have on my PayPal wallet. And I need to enter the values, whatever it's going to be the start of the year. So let me say I'm going to have $6,000. So then let's say in the second bank account, I'm going to have 5,500. On the third bank account, let's say I'm going to have $8,000. So cash at hand, let's keep it at $2,000 and PayPal wallet, we'll keep it at $400. So all these are going to be in the format of currency. So I'll select this completely and I'll convert the formatting to currency formatting. So I'll format as dollars over here. Similarly, I'll go and enter for the first 2 months. So in January, let's say it's going to be $7,000 and the second bank account, let's keep it at $8,500 and the third bank account, $6,700 cash, $2,200 and my PayPal wallet, $450. So similarly for February month also I'll do it. So I'll keep it $8,100. So 8,000 and 9,000. So cash at hand, we'll keep it at 3,200. And for the PayPal wallet, I'll keep it at $560. So cash and bank account, I'll try to highlight this complete row and I'll increase size, make it bold, as well as I'll fill in this with the color. Next, let's try to go for the next category of asset. So it's nothing but properties. So here we can list down the properties. So let's say I have a land and then it's going to be the residence. So then I'll include the office and my car. and I'll try to highlight the properties row completely. So I'll select the properties row, increase the size, make it bold, and I'll fill this with the color. So now for land, at the start of the year, whatever is going to be the asset value, I can enter it over here. So let me say it's going to be $2 lakh. So the residence is going to be $1,60,000, and the office is going to be $20,000, and my car, let's keep it at $45,000. So for the subsequent months, if it is going to increase, we can enter the values, or if it's going to stay the same, I'll just copy and paste the same values. So here also the complete data is going to be in the format of currency. So I'll make it as US dollars over here. Next, we'll come to the third category of assets. So it's investments. I can have different investment like stock, crypto, mutual fund, bonds, and many things. So let us consider only the stocks and my crypto. I'll select the complete investment and highlight this complete row. I'll increase the size and I'll fill this with this color. So now let's keep the stocks at the start of the year. Let's say it's going to be $5,000, and the crypto, let's consider it as $3,400. So in the January month, let's say $7,500 is going to be the stocks, and crypto, let's keep it at 5,000. And for the next month, I'll keep it 7,200, and the crypto is going to be 5,400. So here also I'll format this as US dollars. So now we'll come to the other assets. I'll highlight this complete row. The other assets can be trademark, copyrights, or anything. So let me say it's going to be copyrights, and at the start of the year, let's say it's going to be $2,000, and next month it's going to be 2,100, and the next month it's going to be 2,400. Similarly, I'll enter gold, and it's going to be $4,000. So the next month it's going to be 4,200, and the next month it's going to be 4,500. So here also it's going to be US dollars. So I'll just format it correctly. Next, we need to find the sum of cash and bank accounts. So here I'll be using the sum function. I'll come to the cash and bank accounts. So here I'll say is equal to sum. I'll open the brackets, and then I need to select the complete cells. So here under cash and bank accounts, I'll select from bank account 1 to my PayPal wallet. I'll close it. So C40 to C44. So when I press enter, I'll get the sum of cash and bank accounts. So similarly, I'll just try to flash fill over here. Automatically, it'll just fill in for the complete row. So I'll try to go on flash fill for the complete year. Now let's come to properties. So I'll say properties is equal to sum, and then I'll open the brackets. So here I need to select from land to car. So C46 to C49. I'll close the bracket. So this is the total sum of properties asset. So I'll also flash fill this. Next, I'll do it for the investment. So I'll say is equal to sum. I'll open the brackets and then say this. So here is sum of investment. So I'll flash fill for the complete year. Now we'll do for other assets as well. So is equal to sum. I'll open the brackets. So I'll select the data and I'll press enter. So then I'll try to flash fill for the complete year. So now we have got the complete assets. So now we need to find the what is going to be the asset overview. So to find the asset overview, I need to add the sum of cash and bank account, properties, investment, and other asset. So here I'm going to use the formula is equal to, I'll first select this cell. So it's nothing but C39 plus it's going to be the properties plus it's going to be the sum of investment plus it's going to be the sum of other assets. So this is going to be the formula. So when I press enter, I'll get the total asset overview at the top. This is nothing but this is the start of the year. So similarly, when I try to flash fill for the complete year, we'll be able to get it for the complete year. So you can see at the start of the year, the total asset value was $461,300. So next month, January, there's an increase, and February, you can see there's an increase. Next, we'll see how we can calculate our growth. So here you can see at the last we have a column for growth. So the growth factor is nothing but it's the asset value at the end of the year subtracted by the asset value at the start of the year. So here we have a separate column for growth. So let's say that at the end of the year, December, so my first bank account, the value is going to be $14,800. Let's consider like this. So now if I want to calculate the growth for this particular bank account, so it's going to be equal to, so whatever is at the last of the year, so that's nothing but at the December, so 040 minus, I need to say whatever was at the start of the year. So it was only 6,000. So I'll select this cell. So now when I press enter, you can see this is the growth factor. So the growth is nothing but 8,800 is the growth for that particular bank. So when you try to fill in the complete details for all the months, you will be able to calculate the growth factor for the complete year. So this is about the asset table. Now we'll go to the liabilities table. So here I'll say liabilities overview. So below liabilities, I can have different liabilities. So first I'll have the long-term debt. So I'll select this complete row and I'll increase size, make it bold, and I'll also fill in the color. Similarly for long-term debt, so it's going to be one of the key categories. So here also I'll completely make this, I'll increase size, make it bold, and I'll fill this with the color. Now we can have different long-term debt below this. First, let me say car loan. Then let me say a business loan. And I'll say total taxes. So these can be some of my long-term debt. So here I'll enter the values. So first, let's say it's going to be 5,000 and the business loan is going to be $4,500 and the total taxes is going to be $1,200. So I'll just copy the same thing and paste it for the other 2 months as well. And I'll format this to US dollar formatting. So next we'll come to the next category. So let's have the short-term debt. So I'll completely select this row. I'll increase size, make it bold, and I'll fill in the background color for this. Now we can have different short-term debt below this. So let me say personal loan, student loan, I'll say credit card payment. So these can be some of my short-term debt. So here I'll say the personal loan is going to be 2,000 and the student loan is going to be 1,400 and the credit card payment is going to be 800. So I'll just copy the same thing and I will give it for the first 2 months and I'll format this to US dollar formatting. So at last I'll come for the other liabilities. So I'll say other liabilities. So here, so I'll make this complete row bold and I'll increase the size of this. Also, I'll add the background color for this complete row. Now, I'll come on, I can add other liabilities. Let me say accounts payable. Then I'll say income tax. So these can be some of the other liabilities. I'll say this as $2,700. So the same thing, I'll just copy it for the first 2 months. I'll convert this to currency formatting. Now we have got the liabilities table. I'll try to calculate the sum of the long-term liabilities. So here I'll say is equal to sum. I'll open the brackets. So I'll try to find the sum of these 3 cells. So car loan, business loan, and total taxes. So this is going to be the sum of total liabilities. I'll try to flash fill this for the complete year. Now we'll find the total of short-term debt. So I'll say is equal to sum. I'll open the brackets and I'll select the data over here. So and then I'll enter. So similarly, I'll try to flash fill this for the complete year. Next, I'll do for other liabilities. So is equal to sum and I'll calculate the sum of these 2 rows. I'll then flash fill this for the complete table. Now we have found the total of the categories. So now let's try to find the liabilities overview. So it's nothing but it's equal to the long-term debt plus the short-term debt plus the other liabilities. So here I'll select this. So it's C59 plus it's going to be the short-term debt. So C63 plus C67. So when I enter, I'll get the liabilities overview. So I'll just try to fill in the liabilities overview for the complete table. So now we have got the complete liabilities table and assets table. Now what we'll do is we'll try to go and work on the dashboard. I'll go to the top. So first we'll have some key pointers over here. So I'll try to combine these two cells. I'll say merge center, and then I'll say your net worth goal. So and then let me try to combine these three cells and then enter the value as $3 lakh. So I'll do the formatting for this. I'll try to increase the size to 16 and make it bold, as well as I'll also fill in the color for this. Similarly, I'll try to do for the 4 key pointers. So the next key pointer is your net worth. I'll merge center. So same, your net worth. And I'll combine these 3 cells together. So the next key pointer is going to be amount exceeding your goal. And I'll merge these 3 cells below this. So next I'll come to the 4th key pointer. I'll merge and center. So here it's going to be the total growth, and I'll combine these 3 cells together. Now I'll select all these cells. I'll increase the size of this. I'll make it bold, and I'll also make it center align. So this one, I'll just little bit reduce it since it's exceeding the size of the cell. I'll select the cells where we are going to have the value, and I'll make it this to dollar formatting, and also I'll increase the size of these cells to 24, make it center align. I'll fill in the color for these key pointers. So now we have our key pointers over here. Below this, we'll create a short table where we'll have our total asset, total liabilities, and the net worth calculated for each and every month. So what I'll do is, so I'll say month, then we're going to have a total asset, and then we'll have a total liabilities, and then we'll have a net worth. And below this, we'll have from start, and we'll have all the months. So I'll use flash fill, and then I'll completely fill it. So at the end, we'll have our growth. I'll try to select this total liabilities. I'll say merge horizontally, so it'll just get combined. So now I'll select all these, and I'll increase size, make it bold, and also I'll say center align. I'll fill in the color for the title column. So now what we need to do is we need to display our total asset overview, whatever the value we have over here. So here we'll be using the index function to match it. So I'll say index, and I'll open the brackets. So first I'll select what values we need. So we need the asset overview values, right? So I'll completely select the asset overview array. So then I'll give a comma. So next what we need to do is I'll say match. So we're using one more function. Here I need to say the lookup value. So the lookup value is nothing but it's going to be the start. So I'll give a comma, and then where it needs to look up. So I need to give the lookup array next. So the lookup, it should look up from this array. So I'll completely select this array. Then I'll give a comma, and I'm going to give 0 at the last. So why I'm giving the 0 at the last is because as I want to find only the exact match for that value. So that's why I'm giving 0 at the last, and then I'll close the brackets. So when I press enter, you can see I'm getting the exact value. So whatever value at the start we had for the asset overview, so I'm getting the same value over here. So I need to do the same thing for the complete column. So what I'll do is, here these arrays are actually fixed. Only the lookup value will change. So that's why I'm going to use the absolute referencing concept over here. Before the row and column number, what I'm going to do is I'll just add a dollar symbol. So this will convert this to absolute referencing. So it will be fixed. Only the B20, B21, that will get changed. So I'll add for the complete array. Now I'll try to flash fill this for the complete column. You can see I'll get it I'll get the total asset value for the complete column. Similarly, we need to do it for the liabilities also. So for liabilities, I'll say is equal to index. I'll open the brackets. So I'll go to the liabilities overview. So I'll select a complete liabilities table. So the array I'll select it. So I'll give comma. So here I'll say match, and I need to match it with this value. So the lookup value is going to be the start, comma. I need to enter the lookup array. So the lookup array will remain the same. So at this start of the table, we have it. So I'll select this, then I'll give a comma. I'll give 0. So we need the exact match. So here also I'll add the absolute referencing. So I'll add the dollar symbol before the row and column number. So now when I press enter, I'll get the total liability. So the start of the year, you can see 17,600, the same value, I've got it over here. So I'll try to flash fill this. So we have got the value. So after that, we need to find the net worth. So our net worth is nothing but our total assets minus our liabilities. So I'll say is equal to, I'll select the total asset minus our total liabilities. So when I press enter, I'll get this. This is going to be the net worth. So I'll just flash fill. So, and here we have a total net worth. Now we have completed the net worth table. Now we'll try to go and create some graph. First, let's try to create some graph for the total asset and our total liabilities. So I'll select this. So I'll go to insert, and then I'll go to chart. So here we are getting the column chart. So let's say I want the area chart. So here you can see, so this is a 2D area chart, we have got it. So I'll just try to move this. So I'll just try to move this and then keep it on our dashboard. We can also a little bit reduce the size of this, and then we can have it over here. So I'll double click, and then I'll go and have the chart title. So I'll have it as asset overview versus liabilities overview. So I'll make the chart title bold, and we can also go and change the color of this. So I'll change it to a theme color. So here is the asset overview versus liabilities overview chart. So next we'll try to create a chart for the net worth. So I'll completely select the net worth column. I'll say insert, and then I'll say chart. So automatically you can see we are getting the net worth chart over here. I'll little bit reduce the size and then place it here. So I'll make this center line. So also we can change the color to a theme color. So you can see this is the net worth chart. So once we enter the data for the complete year, you can see the graph completely. Now we'll try to create some charts for asset overview and liabilities overview. To do that, we need to have the data separately on a table. So what I'll do is I'll just first copy these categories, and then I'll come down and then I'll just paste it. So here we have our categories, and then we need to have the value. So I'm just doing it for the start of the year. You can even do it for the end of the year as well. So first you can see the value is 21,900. So I'll just try to fill in the value $21,900. Then we have 4,25,000. So I'll say $4,25,000. And for investment, 8,400 and 6,000. So I'll say 8,400 and $6,000. This is going to be the asset overview. So now I'll try to create a graph for this. So I'll select this, and then I'll say chart, insert a chart. So here I'll go and convert this to a donut chart. So I'll try to move this to the top and then keep it on our dashboard. I'll a little bit reduce the size of this, and then I'll keep this at the top. So I'll double click. I'll change the chart title as asset distribution. Also, we can change the design of the chart. So I'll go to chart and go to legend, and then I want it to be at the bottom. So I'll keep it over here, and we can also change the color to a theme color. So I'll completely change this to our theme color. So here is our asset distribution. So I'll make the title center align. So this is for the asset distribution. Similarly, we can also do a chart for liability distribution. So first we need to have a table for that. So I'll select the liabilities. I'll just paste the liabilities over here, and then the value I'll just try to take it manually. So it's 10,700. So the next one is 4,200 and 2,700. So I'll convert this to the currency formatting. So I'll create a donut chart for this. So I'll say I'll go to chart, and then I'll create a donut chart. Similarly, this one also I'll try to move it to the top. So I'll reduce size and then match it. So here I'll change the chart title as liabilities distribution, and I'll make it center line. And also we can change the legend to bottom, and we'll change the color of this. Now let's try to calculate the key pointers on our dashboard. First, let's try to calculate for the net worth. So I'll say is equal to, and then here I'm going to use the formula if error. And first I'll say lookup. So since we need to look up the value from the bottom table, so I will say 1 comma, and then I'll say array formula, and I'll select the complete array. So from start to December I'll select, and I'll divide this by the same array. I'll close the brackets. So here I'll give comma. So the result array is also going to be from the same net worth. So I'll select this. I'll close the brackets, and then if the condition is going to be false, so I'll give 0 at the last. So now when I press enter, you can see this is the net worth value. So I'm getting the last net worth value, whatever is mentioned at the December. So if I try to fill in the complete table, so the value will be high. So since I have just to show you, I have entered the value as 14,800. That's why the net worth is $14,800. So our growth is nothing but it's going to be equal to the last growth, whatever we have. So it's nothing but at F33 is going to be the growth. So I'll say is equal to F33. So here is our growth. Now we'll have the amount exceeding your goal. So the amount exceeding your goal is nothing but it's equal to our net worth subtracted by our goal. So net worth goal. Now when I press enter, I'll get it as minus $2,85,200. That's because my net worth goal is higher than my current net worth. So that's why I'm getting it negative. So in case if my net worth is going to be high, then I'll get this in positive. So this is how we can create the complete net worth dashboard with the help of the asset table, liabilities table, and then we have also created few graphs to show how our asset distribution, liabilities distribution, and how our net worth and total liabilities versus net worth overview. So if you are looking to download this net worth template, I have given the link in the description. You can try to go and download it from there. I have created many Google Sheet and Excel templates to track your personal finance. You can go and visit my website plrduck.com and then download it from there. All the templates comes with commercial rights and master resale rights. You can try to edit the templates as per your wish and then share it with as many people you need. Thanks for watching this Google Sheets tutorial. I'll see you in another Google Sheet or Excel tutorial.